Hi everyone, another installment on the 65 Mustang build. So we've been, me and my bestie have been plugging away at it for a couple of months now, just on Saturdays, and we're making good progress. So as you can see, we've got all the back end reassembled, and it's looking really neat. We've got the all the side glass in, and door handles, locks. We've got all the trims on, right along the bottom. Got all the badges on the front fenders here. Okay, we've been doing a bit of wiring as well. So we're just getting things laid out in the engine bay. We're using a painless wiring kit. Absolutely brilliant. I recommend them. Just the instruction manual that comes with it is phenomenal. So if you don't know anything about electrical, you will by the time you're done with your project. We had to pick up a couple of these little, not sure what you'd call them, brows or trims, I don't know, for the wipers. We needed to pick up some of those. We'd lost the original ones, which I'd say were pitted anyway. So it's all starting to come together. I've had a few little minor glitches as we've gone along. So one of the glitches we had was up the front here. This was a brand new hinge, believe it or not, and the pin that holds the spring in place, the shaft snapped off. So we have to swap that out, which is unfortunate because all the doors are lined up. Now, as you can see, we've put an aftermarket air conditioning unit in it. So that's all mounted up underneath the dash. Looks really, really good. We've got some of the parts already mounted in the engine bay for it, but at this point in time we can't really complete any of it because we've got to get the engine in. So as you can see, that comes through the firewall there. So heater outlets, or inlet and outlet, and aircon, and then we've got the junction here, which will sit in here eventually. So we're making some good progress here. We've got a washer motor here. We actually went with the bag, the original bag option, rather than having a plastic bottle there. So we've picked up, or Paul picked up, the bag. We've still got to mount that, obviously, but we're getting there. We're getting there. We put all the front eyebrow trims on last weekend and put the lights in. We've got lights operating throughout the entire car, so everything works. The only thing that we are having troubles with is the horn, trying to get the horn to work. So that's one of the things that we're going to do today. There's a small relay that runs the horn, or a fuse or something, and Paul was saying that that's actually blown, so he's just gone up to the speed shop to pick up another one, and hopefully we can get the horn out of the way, and then that's everything done. That's all the electricals working, which is great. So yeah, you know, everything's basically brand new on the car. There are some second-hand parts, but most stuff's new. So, you know, all your little your buffers and your little covers for cover up your bolt holes, new locks, strikers, you know, all new rubbers as well. Probably the only thing that won't have been replaced on the car is actually all the side glass and trims. They're just way expensive. We'll get around to replacing them eventually. We'll try and find a good second-hand set. These tend to pit. All the Mustangs, original Mustangs that I've seen, are all pitted in the chrome The doors for some reason tend to fare a little bit better, but these rear quarter windows all pit. So we'll end up replacing those. We did run into a little problem during the week. Now when we put this in, everything worked, but now it's free spinning. It's like something's come off between the lock and the mechanism, and unfortunately there's no way that we can gain access to the boot easily, because on the convertibles we have all the motor and everything in there for the top. So we're brainstorming how we're actually going to get into the boot or the trunk, and we don't want to bust the lock out because it's a brand new lock. So yeah, we'll try and find a way to get in this today, get into it today. Okay, we're into the trunk or the boot. What we did, we put the roof up, and that opened up this whole section here, and I just slid in and got it out. But what's really strange is that we got a brand new lock or barrel, we got a brand new lock body, but the pin is way too small for this. It's like this has got to be right, but this seems to be wrong, although it bolts up. So we're going to dig the old one out of the shed and compare the two. Okay, we've got a 65 Mustang rear quarter interior trim panel here, which has got a few cracks through it. We've got one big one here, and one big one here, and this tab snapped off, and this one snapped off as well. So what I've done is I've glued them back together, but I'm going to do some plastic welding now to make them a permanent repair, because I think once you start tightening up the screws for these tabs, I don't think the super glue is going to last too long. So yeah, we'll get stuck into it and see how we go. Okay, there's going to be some spots here where the cracks opened up a little bit too much. So what I've got is some old cable tie offcuts, which we can actually use and melt into the cracks. It does stink, so if you're in a confined space, do use a mask. That's why I've set it up outside here. It's just a little bit better. So this is just a standard, light duty soldering iron. Really didn't, you don't really need much more than this. And to be honest, I've just copied what I've seen on YouTube. So, I haven't invented this technique. But yeah, they say that when you do it, you sort of need to push forward. So you want to work it towards you. That's my understanding. If somebody else knows a better way to do it, please tell me in the comments. That'd be really good. Okay, So that's not too bad around there. I've got to peel this vinyl back to get further into this corner here. Now you can add more plastic to it should you need to, but what you want to do is you want to use that pushing technique to start with, so that you're basically melting the plastic from either side of the crack to becoming one again. And then if you just want to fill the top to smooth it out, yeah, just cable ties. Great idea. So just going to fill these little holes here that I've created. There we go. Alright. Now with these tabs and other places, someone's had a go at fixing these once before with some araldite, but they haven't roughed up the surface, so therefore the araldite didn't stick. So we're going to have a go at this tab here. Now if I'm lucky enough, I should be able to do this on both sides of the tab. It's quite weird because as you press down with the soldering line, you can actually feel a vibration going through the iron itself, and that sort of feels okay. You know, when you do that, it sort of it feels like you're actually penetrating the plastic. You're joining it. I don't know how to explain it, but you'll realise it yourself when you do it. So we've got this one as well here to do. Just get that up there like that. So I'm just going to pin these back. Just get them out of the way so I don't burn his new upholstery. Have a go at this one. I'm not pushing really deep, especially on these tabs. Because I'm figuring I can do it on both sides. You don't want to burn through it, because once you burn through it, and you've got to try and stick it all back together, and it just becomes a mess. So yeah, and you can smell the super glue burning as well. Oh, she's pretty toxic. Okay, we've got a really big crack here, so I'm just going to work it from the edge here. Actually, no, I'll work it from here, from this area here. So it doesn't take very long. Just have to be gentle and not melt too deep into the plastic. On the thicker stuff, you can push a little harder, getting a little deeper. Okay, we've got a lot of araldite and stuff starting to burn there too, which smells shocking. We're getting there. Now with this one, as you saw, I pushed all that all together, and then I've gone over it and I've smoothed it out. So now I'm going to add a bit of the cable tie. That's it. Forgot what it was called. Just to build it up a little bit, because being on a corner here or a bend, that's going to you want to make it probably a bit thicker. That's the reason why it probably cracked in the first place. It thins out there. So yeah, you can actually feel the vibration through the iron as the plastic starts to melt. It's pretty good. Okay, now with this crack up here, I'm going to have to flip this up. Okay, we're going to have a crack at this now. Just hope the panel doesn't fall, because it's really awkward to get this to balance on anything because of its shape. So I didn't actually push then, I went around the ridge. There's a little ridge there, raised ridge. I just sort of melted that, but I didn't push too hard. I didn't want to go right through it, because also I got the vinyl still on this as well, the new vinyl. So last thing we want to do is burn right through that and make a mark on it. Now I find that these really thin cable ties work or melt a lot better than the thicker ones, obviously. And basically what you can do with these, because they're so thin, you can just lay them down on the weld line and just melt them straight on top. Just fill in all your little track marks there. And here we can give it a bit more and build that up there. And come right up the top here. So we've got a bit more down here. I've just pulled off a piece of araldite that obviously didn't stick properly. That dirty big chunk there. So as you can see, there's a gap there, so I'm just going to try and melt the two sides together, and then I'll fill it with some cable tie. Okay, with this crack inside here, I've chosen to do the outside simply because the vinyl is already peeled back on this corner. I've melted it plus added some cable tie in, but you could just go over this with a flat disc as well, very gently, or a file, and you can just take the rough edges off. Okay, I've gone over that with a flap disc just to knock the top off it, and that's all there is to it. Hi everyone, another day on the 65 Mustang project. So we've done a few things today, not a lot, a few, and we've discovered a few little minor glitches with the car. So yeah, what we've done is we've ended up putting this trim in along here, so we got that completed. We've got this felt. We're actually going to line the glove box with this felt because they're pretty nasty, cheap looking inside, so we just want to make it look a little bit cleaner. What else did we do today? Oh, we ended up getting a clip. We ended up getting a clip for the handbrake cable down here to hold it in, so that we got that done as well. We've got all the washer bag and motor installed, so that's all working. We've got a speaker installed here and popped the grill back in. We've put a temporary switch here. This is for the washer squirter. You can actually buy a wiper switch where I think you either push or pull the knob and that operates the squirter. So we're thinking about replacing this and getting the correct one for here. We got the throttle pedal on as well. Put that onto the bar there.